Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 p.m.
I'm me the stylist, no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ, real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. You charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Coming up in CVM News at 7, fugitive on the FBI's most wanted fraudsters list, captured in Jamaica. 3 killed in Mandeville shootout. Criminologist weighs in on Burchell's security concerns. And is the People's National Party gearing up for a leadership race? Of course, we'll have sports for you as well a bit later on. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Saturday, July 25, 2026. I'm Curlin Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. A fugitive on the FBI's most wanted fraudsters list has been returned to the Southern District of Florida to face federal charges for her alleged role in a scheme that fraudulently obtained more than $32 million in federal COVID-19 relief funds. Elaine Esco, 41, was charged by indictment in 2025 with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Now, a conspiracy to commit money laundering and multiple substantive counts of wire fraud as well and money laundering. Now, after a federal arrest warrant was issued in May 2025, Esco failed to appear for her court appearance and fled to Jamaica. Acting on information developed by the FBI, Jamaican authorities captured Esco after receiving a tip she had been living under a fake identity of Harley Newman. In a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District of Florida, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said the most wanted fraudster allegedly obtained tens of millions in COVID-19 relief, stealing critical resources from legitimate businesses during a national crisis. She fled the country, believing she could escape justice, but ultimately could not. Those who exploit a taxpayer-funded program will be held accountable by this Department of Justice, no matter how long it takes or where they attempt to hide. end quote. Now, she returned to South Florida today through the coordinated efforts of the FBI, the U.S. Marshals Service, the U.S. Department of State's Diplomatic Security Service, Regional Security Office at the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, the Jamaican Constabulary Force, the JCF, and the JCF Jamaica Fugitive Apprehension Team. ESCO is the last remaining defendant charged in the scheme following a December 2025 trial. Back home now, preliminary reports out of Manchester indicate several armed men engaged in a shootout with the police in the Horseshoe Corner, Caledonia Meadows area of Mandeville. We understand 3 of the armed men were fatally shot by the law enforcement officers. Our newsroom will continue to track any other development on that matter. The St. Catherine South Police have made an arrest in connection with the murder of a taxi operator in the division on Tuesday, July 21, as well as the seizure of a prohibited weapon and 2 rounds of ammunition. 36-year-old Andre McKenzie, a taxi operator of Arura Close in Watson Grove, Gregory Park in the parish, was shot and killed along Dawkins Drive, Portmore, at about 9:30 p.m. Investigators from the Proactive Investigation Unit and the Specialized Operations Branch subsequently carried out an intelligence-led operation in Portsmouth in the parish on Wednesday, July 22. 1 man suspected to be linked to the killing was arrested. 1 FN 9mm pistol fitting with a magazine containing 2 9mm cartridges was also found concealed in bushes during the operation. The identity of the man arrested is being withheld at this time. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for works in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, Robert Nestor Morgan, has indicated that roadwork activity will increase significantly in the lead up to the new school year. He disclosed that contractors are being mobilized and have already signed contracts, move in full implementation for works on main roads across Jamaica. The government pointing to an additional $1.5 million allocation for the Go Road Rehabilitation Program will see urgent rehabilitation of national roads across the country with focus on Western Jamaica and corridors requiring immediate intervention. Now, these works will continue through to December with particular focus on heavily traveled main roads, school routes and corridors that are important to public transportation and economic activity. The NWA will manage the program and conduct inspections to ensure contractors comply with the required standards. According to the minister, contractors will be required to correct any work that does not meet those standards.
We are approaching, we will place a special focus on main roads used by students, school buses and public transport operators because we want their daily journey to and from school to be safer and more reliable. We have already done extensive work over the last several months after Melissa and currently under the $1.6 billion program, and we felt that we needed another intervention to ensure that we can bring back our roads to what they were at least before Melissa. We're going to be doing some very intense work in places like Lucianovo, places like Kingston, Tom Redcom, Arthur Wint Drive, Upper Waterloo Road, West Kings House Road. We're going to continue our work on the boulevard. What we're trying to create are corridors that are pothole free so people know that, listen, once I drive on this road, it will be pothole free.
The People's National Party could be gearing up for a leadership race next year between President Mark Golding and Member of Parliament for Northwest St. Catherine and Education spokesperson Damien Crawford. In an interview with Nationwide News earlier this week, Crawford vocalized his intention to challenge the party leadership. At a recent PNP meeting, the matter was raised. Well, PNP President Mark Golding accepted the challenge. In the meantime, political commentator Jermaine Barrett weighed in on the matter. He explained that Damon Crawford is a worthy contender, but noted Mark Golding is a valiant opponent.
Yeah, it has already come out into the public domain that a campaign is afoot. He cannot very long keep his powder dry, as you call it. He is going to be prodded and pushed into campaigning, into engaging in a discussion publicly about his candidacy and the superiority of it, and the fact that his opponent Mark Golding is less adequately, qualified, and that is going to be how the campaign starts.
South St. James Member of Parliament Nikisha Burchell should not have gone public with calls for a state-sponsored security detail. So says a security expert, even though the first-time opposition MP also disclosed she fears for her safety. Akela Bailey has the details.
The South St. James MP has drawn public attention after revealing she fears for her life and has not been assigned state-sponsored security detail. Among those weighing in is criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay. Speaking on Lead Story Thursday, Dr. Mackay says this matter isn't one he believes should have been brought to the public.
It's a small country. There's no difficulty getting to see the persons who are the decision makers without going public. I mean, going public kind of, you wonder why you choose that methodology. Just everybody knows, you're in government. You can easily get in front of a decision maker. That's not difficult, and allow an assessment to be done. The procedure must be followed. But going public is not the answer to it. It's following the process.
Dr. Mackay says some jobs are more dangerous than others, and as a result, a security detail becomes a necessity.
A lot of them are doing some jobs with some serious consequences. Prosecutors being the number one, I think. Judges in particular too. Some ministers that deal with crime, like Minister of National Security being a major one. The Minister of Justice to some extent. Remember, there's legislation being written by certain of these departments that have resulted in, that not is being written and has been written, that has resulted in the detriment of a lot of criminals and may result in far more ending up in cages. So yeah, they need protection. They're very vulnerable.
The criminologist also highlights that there are not enough police personnel to provide security for all government officials and public figures. However, he believes that private security is always an option, even for those who are not in what may be described as constant danger on the job.
Well, we don't have enough police, we need more police. So we will hire less if we have more police available to do police work. Close protection is, in most countries, is done by the Secret Service and special departments, not necessarily the police force. So although I agree that for judges in particular, prosecutors and so on, and particular ministers, you need police, but not but it's not necessary for everybody who requires close protection. The close protection in some ways can be done by private security companies even at a higher level. Because of the resources available to them.
For CVM News, I'm Damon Phillips.
Some 41 farmers in the St. Catherine community of Heartlands will, in another few months, benefit from their own irrigation system. Now, the farmers are in preparation mode, eager to expand their own production capacity and contribute to advancing the country's food security. We got some first reactions. Even before the first drop of water hits the fertile soil in Heartlands, the praises flowed after ground was broken and the sign unveiled officially launching the Community Irrigation Project, a multi-million-dollar collaborative initiative between the Agriculture Ministry, the National Irrigation Commission (NIC), and Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings Limited (SCJ).
I'm happy that we reached this far. I've been waiting for 31 years to acquire a piece of this land, and now it's happening with irrigation.
For me, I choose to do livestock farming because we realize the lack of water. So yes, we need the water, but it's not as crucial to the livestock farming as the crop farming. Now with this, it will really enable me to go into crop farming as well, not only the livestock, but also crop. And even with the livestock, I will have adequate water now to also give my animals.
Now, getting this far in July 2026 meant surviving a rigorous journey.
This Heartland issue has been a long-standing issue. It has been a source of a lot of, I'm trying to find a good word, a lot of robust debate, conversation, meetings. It has been a challenging situation.
Samuel King is another farmer who did not mince words in the struggle for inclusion and development.
Well, here is my 5 acre. I'm coming from 2020. It has taken 6 years to actually get or being someone in terms of getting land to be a proper farmer. Because before we were squatters, now we are landowners or lease owners. So it is pleasing to see that where we're coming from and where we are now. I have to pay homage to the minister, to the MP, to the councillor, to the farmers themselves, NIC, to CVM, the media, and everyone involved in turning what they have classed our style, no one, to someone.
Curlin Brown, CVM News. And we're staying in Heartlands because the residents are not allowing the thrill of the irrigation project launch to settle without highlighting their struggle with unreliable potable water. They say this too must be addressed hastily. Khadijah Smith picks up that story.
The summer heat has been relentless, but for residents in Heartlands in St. Catherine, the struggle is even greater as many continue to cope with the lack of running water. While shopkeepers attended to customers seeking relief from the scorching temperatures, some residents clutched to their bottled water. A vendor who operates a jerk stall in the community says she relies on pails to store water to keep her business running. She says people have to walk to a standpipe where the flow is barely enough.
Time really hot and so you know, it causes me to drink more water nowadays and so. Yeah, man.
People from way down the end of the road have to come to the top or in the middle to get some water, and it's just drainage. It don't run with no force at all, just drain.
For them, the issue is not new, and according to this man, it has been years.
Sometimes I have to ride with the background of the water and drain it into the gully side. Yeah, that's the gully. Sometimes water comes.
CVM News also spoke with South Central St. Catherine Member of Parliament, Dr. Andrew Whitley. He says there is optimism that ongoing developments will bring improvements to the community, including its water supply.
This community has been without adequate water supply, domestic water supply. But as you are seeing, we are moving in the right direction. We are now bringing water to the farmers in this area. And with the anticipated development in around the community of Heartland, we should be able to provide domestic water supply to all the households here. Again, this is not a very populous area, and so the cost of just bringing water to the few homes, although everyone is entitled to domestic water, is a challenge. And so with more communities being developed in and around this area, it becomes cheaper to bring water to the less than 50 homes that we have.
So with the heat showing no signs of easing and these residents in Heartlands pressing for reliable access to water, they wait. Khadijah Smith, CVM News.
And we'll be back with more here on CVM News at 7 in just a moment.
scammer now style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. You charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Welcome back. As public health agencies in the U.S. trace Psychospora to imported commercial iceberg lettuce, CVM News is gauging the state of Jamaica's lettuce production as a possible supply market. Well, we got the answer directly from the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. Based on the rate at which the intestinal disease can last as it spreads rapidly through the United States of America via iceberg lettuce imported from Mexico, Jamaica's Agriculture Minister remains on guard.
How we treat with vegetable imports is only if there is a severe need, right? So we do forecasting, we do go out in the field to see where our numbers are.
There are reports of over 7,000 suspected cases and close to 4,200 confirmed domestic lab cases since May 1 to July 20. Now, even with no reported deaths, a recall in 27 states, and a little over 300 hospitalizations, Floyd Green is being direct.
And I say to our citizens that we have a robust phytosanitary system run by our plant quarantine officials, and they have done a great job of ensuring that we keep Jamaica free from these diseases, from these outbreaks, and that won't change. Again, these things are only brought in if there is a need, and there has to be a clear need. But not only a need, that need has to outstrip the risk. Once the risk outstrips the need, then we may have to do without for a time period.
So could a gap swing open a gateway for local lettuce farmers?
I think we have to reflect on where we are. We're still in recovery from Hurricane Beryl and Melissa, right? And where we suffered tremendous damage is to our greenhouse farmers, who a lot of them focus on these leafy vegetables, right? And ideally you would call upon them now because they're better able to do climate control. So when there is a dry period, they still will be able to produce. But a number of them are still rebuilding, so it will take us some time to get back those numbers. So I don't think we can take advantage of the opportunity in terms of export now, right? And especially what we would want to do is to ensure that everything that we are producing that we know is already safe would be saved for local consumption.
In the meantime, he says it's about continuing to work with farmers to ramp up production and get through their dry spell.
Our priority is always local production, and in good times we can supply all of these vegetable lines without help.
Curlin Brown, CVM News. Now, there is a voice that's still echoing across generations, and one who maintains an international figure in the person of one who is considered to be the Queen Mother of Reggae, Rita Marley. Today marks a significant milestone for her, and her foundation chose to showcase the people whose lives she has touched. We're sharing just a glimpse.
1, 2, 3. Nice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
My name is Hortense Wright in Babylon, but in Ethiopia, my name is Anna Mariam, Mother of Mary. And I'm 91 years of age, 25th of February gone, born 1935.
This senior has earned the right to cut the birthday cake of Rita Marley during her 80th birthday celebrations. She told CVM News even though she has never met her mother or her father, the Marleys, and she stresses the Honourable Rita Marley, showed her love.
I is long time older than her, but she used to encourage me in the name of Rastafari. And me used to say, what where this lady come from, whatever go Rasta at that time, they are go a barber and hairdresser go comb here. But she was so loving to us that we accept what she's saying.
Quite fittingly, like writing a new song, the Rita Marley Foundation was deliberate with the location where hundreds of young and the not so young came together for her day, July 25.
Tufgong International is a very important part of Rita Marley's legacy. She's a person who bought this property from Federal Records and established Tufgong here, moved the musical aspect of it from 56 Hope Road, which is now the Bob Marley Museum. So we just thought that, we would take it from 56 Hope Road, bring it here and kind of introduce people reintroduce some people and to introduce some people to this musical space.
We caught up with a 2025 scholarship recipient who is now in university. She says giving back after receiving remains a major lesson she lives by.
That scholarship was one of the biggest blessings in my life. It took a lot of the financial burden for university. I had just graduated from the Ulmus Trust High School for Girls. And the Rita Marley Foundation scholarship was definitely beneficial to me, especially because of how much it involves service.
Thank you, Jah, for every little thing. Yeah. Thank you, Jah, 'cause you make me sing. So, if Nana Rita was here today, this is her song. This would be her song. And this is actually the theme of her 80th birthday anniversary celebration. Thank you, Jah. It's an expression of gratitude, of thankfulness, of just giving thanks. She's 80 years now. Still strong, still going strong, has a very strong legacy that we are still preserving in so many ways.
Fingers crossed you'll be able to bring you more. It's now time for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. An irate survivor of the state-operated MV Burima disaster has lashed out at the Ministry of Public Works and shipboard officials, describing how warnings regarding severe overloading and engine failure were ignored prior to the 87-year-old ferry capsizing off the Essequibo coast. HGP TV News with that report.
Yeah, Mr. Edgel, this message is for you. You was not on the ferry when the boat was underwater and the engine and cutting out. And you're saying it was not engine problem and cargo weight. The boat was overloaded.
Survivor Ron Bobble, emotionally recounting how the capsized MV Burima claimed the lives of several of his family members. He expressed frustration that the captain ignored his concerns about the vessel being overloaded. Bubble said these recalcitrant actions led to him losing 6 of his family members.
When we can't tell the captain said the boat have to go just up. I lost 6 members from the ferry. 6 of them from Port Kaitumo. My father, 2 sisters, 2 nephews, 1 niece. The boat all engine cut out.
This tragedy has sparked mounting calls for the immediate resignation of Public Works Minister Juan Edgel, as well as officials from the Maritime Administration Department, known as MARD. At a joint opposition press briefing earlier this week, Don Hastings Williams, We Invest in Nationhood Member of Parliament, stated that inaccurate passenger information worsened the situation, leaving families without clear accounts of who was on board.
Experts from across the region gathered in Trinidad and Tobago for the first ever Caribbean Parrot Conservation Summit to discuss how the illegal pet trade, poaching, deforestation and natural disasters are affecting the species. More from TTT News.
The Caribbean is home to 11 endemic parrots, many of which are considered among the most vulnerable parrots in the world. Experts from across the region gathered in Trinidad and Tobago for the first Caribbean Parrot Conservation Summit, hosted by Birds Caribbean, to discuss how the illegal pet trade, poaching, deforestation and natural disasters are affecting the species. President of Birds Caribbean, Andre Thoman, warned that the long-standing tradition of keeping parrots as pets is placing significant pressure on wild populations.
And it's culture within the tradition to have them as pets. It's very ingrained within the Dominican Republic and other Caribbean nations.
nations, but this is a tradition that we need to stop right now because a lot of these species are heading towards extinction. And for some species, it's not about occasional international smuggling, but in the case of the Dominican Republic at least, we think that 3% of households have a parrot, and this means over 100,000 birds in captivity right now.
And in international news, the Trump administration has imposed new tariffs on 80 countries, targeting nearly all U.S. imports over alleged failures to address forced labor in supply chains. Al Jazeera tells us more.
While Americans slept, a temporary 10% tariff on all imported goods expired, and 2 new duties took effect. The Trump administration says it's punishing the country's 60 biggest trading partners for not cracking down on forced labor, thus putting U.S. companies...
Stay where you are. Sports is next.